PUBG! Brothers, my brothers.
Here we go. Where are my other people at? Well, I mean, it's so crazy because we all live in different parts of the world, so this is like the second opportunity, other than the North American Challenge, to actually be together in person. You know, we spend so many hours in game together, so being able to hang out together is just, oh, it's awesome. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
有这几天我们都是玩手机，还有战术，还有研究了其他战队的那些比赛视频。And thankfully to PUBG Mobile, the campus championship that was held in India gave us the opportunity to come here.
and we are really excited for the BMSC Global Finals, and we really hope we can win it.
이게 1회로 끝나는 게 아니라 2회, 3회 계속 이어질 수도 있으면 좋겠고 저희뿐만 아니라 많은 전 세계 사람들이 이런 기회를 얻어서 좋은 경험을 해봤으면 좋겠습니다.
사야수가 PUBG 모바일.
Actually, we'll practice more and more because we know that we are competing with most competitive teams. So we'll practice, we'll improve our skills more, and let's see.
Merak ediyorum. Özellikle yemeklerini. Hayatımda hiç deve eti yemedim. Deve eti yemek istiyorum.
The terrifying nightmares. Team Pyro. Fighting.
The new Galaxy Note 9 has more power than you need. Like a remote control for a phone. Why would you? Oh, that's why. The new Galaxy Note 9. It's got more power than you need until you need it.
After re-listening to our player community, Lightspeed Studios took some time and effort to make things as flawless as possible. How do you transfer the map from PC to mobile? That's easy. We simply copied and pasted. No, just kidding. Whenever we have a bigger city area, there's greater pressure on performance, especially on mobile devices. Therefore, parameters, specifications for terrain, buildings, vegetations, and more have to be precise in order to run the game smoothly. We also simplified complicated building structures and city items to make it easier for players to loot. The brand new Dusk mode provides vastly different visual experience. We got 3 new weapons, each with its unique characteristics. Some of our vehicles got a fresh new paint job. The desert map is 50% larger than the island map, so there is way more content. The area outside the city is a wide open mountainous region which lacks shelters such as trees or grass. There's way more middle and long distance combat which requires greater precision when shooting. So players better get to be good at estimating their relative positions from enemies to find the best hiding spot on the back of a slope. Actually, some of our less popular places, such as island, mine caves, ruins, have good loot. Trust me. This new map is awesome. So we're constantly working on stuff during the daytime, and then we stay up all night playing. Who needs sleep?
play PUBG Mobile.
Burnout set the competition ablaze in the first round of the tournament to set themselves up with the first chicken dinner of the tournament, and what an impressive result it was from them. But almost a little bit of that spotlight really stolen, I think, by our Chinese teams with the amount of kills that they were racking up to start off the day, boys.
Evo's Burnout picking up the chicken dinner, the first place in game number 1, but not the first place in the tournament overall, as GT Doyu, they picked up a ton of kills in order to secure the top spot in game number 1. LH Doyu, probably one of the most impressive teams overall in the first game, shooting skills on point, just moving like a finely oiled machine. These guys really snappy with their timing, their movements, their grenades, their guns, everything looked on point.
Yeah, just pretty much going off the movement there. Just the rotations seemed on point. They were throwing smokes when they needed to go ahead and throw them. Actually, at one point, I saw them pretty much running away from a fight, and they were in the car throwing smokes out of the car. So interesting strategies there by sdah and GTW. We've seen that a few times actually in the past as well. We saw it in North America as well. We used to great success, and it's nice to see that. And also, you mentioned it during the commentary that smokes in mobile are different to smokes on PC because they are so light. You can carry so many of them, and they're pivotal in those final circles.
When you see a lot of these teams, at least in the North American meta, they're carrying up to 10 smokes apiece, if not more. And that's just, I mean, you can cover the battlefield forever, and it did seem at the end of that game their smokes were everywhere. 17 players alive in a tiny circle. That really kind of says something about the value of smokes.
Definitely was, and that means game number 1 is done and in the books. However, we have more teams to introduce you to as we continue things on here for the PMSD Global Finals 2018. So let's meet 4 more.
สวัสดีครับผมชื่อกล้องครับชื่อวินีในเกมตอนนี้กำลังศึกษาอยู่มหาวิทยาลัยครับ
พี่ครับชื่อโก้ครับชื่อในเกมเป็นRQT9 ครับมาจากไทยแลนด์นะครับสวัสดีครับชื่อดี้นะครับชื่อในเกมชื่อ RQDTE นะครับตอนนี้ก็ไม่ได้ทำอะไรครับว่างเล่นเกมอย่างเดียวครับสวัสดีครับชื่อ2ครับชื่อในเกม RQI2 ครับอาชีพที่ทำอยู่ปัจจุบันคือเป็นกราฟิกดีไซน์ก็ได้รางวัลระดับเอเชียที่1มาครับเราก็ยังไม่รู้สึกดีใจเท่าไหร่ครับเพราะว่าเราจะรู้สึกดีใจที่สุดก็ต่อเมื่อเราได้ที่1ของโลกครับ
ก็สำหรับผมนะครับการเป็นที่1ของเอเชียก็ไม่ค่อยเท่าไหร่ครับเพราะว่าทีมผม
ก็ที่เราเข้ามาสมัครร่วมรายการนี้นะครับก็จะโชว์ให้โลกรู้ครับว่าเมืองไทยมีดีแค่ไหนครับก็จากรอบที่จากรอบที่3 4 5นะครับก็คือวันนั้นมีผู้หญิงมาปาร์ตี้ฮะเราได้มองผู้หญิงแล้วเรารู้สึกกระชุ่มกระชวยครับเราก็เลยมีพลังในการเล่นบวกกับสไตล์การเล่นเราเปลี่ยนครับเราเปลี่ยนไปเล่นเข้าหลังคนอื่นเขาแทนเราชอบยิงฟรีครับเราสู้ตรงๆไม่ได้เราก็เลยหนีวงเข้ามาเรื่อยๆครับยิงคนอื่นฟรีๆไปจนได้อันดับ1สำคัญที่สุดก็คือผู้หญิงครับเพราะว่าเราเล่นโชว์ผู้หญิงเท่านั้นเองครับผมคือมันมีผู้หญิงประมาณ100 กว่าคนอยากให้ผมเป็นแฟน100 กว่าคนเลยครับผมทีม RQ อัธนาครับเป็นตัวแทนจากประเทศไทยในรอบของเอเชียเข้ามาครับทาง D2V เล่นก่อนนะครับแล้วผมมาตามเล่นทีหลังครับแต่คือตามมาทีหลังก็เก่งกว่าอยู่ดีคือสอนมาก็เก่งกว่าอยู่ดีฮะสรุปแล้วคือผมก็เล่นเก่งกว่าเขาอยู่ดีก็แน่นอนครับ D2V เก่งกว่าเยอะครับไม่เห็นด้วยหรอกเพราะว่าทุกวันนี้ผมเป็นคนแบกทีมขึ้นมาครับไม่ใช่น้องแบกครับก็พูดไปมันก็ไม่ฟังอยู่ดีเล่นเกมอยู่บ้านแหละจะบ่นครับเพราะว่าวันๆผมไม่ทำอะไรนอกจากเล่นเกมตื่นก็เล่นนอนตื่นมาก็เล่นกินข้าวก็เล่นจะนอนก็เล่นทั้งวันก็ต้องโดนคงไม่มีใครมาชมคนเล่นเกมทั้งวันจาก PUBG MOBILE นะครับMOBILE นะครับโอ้เอาเลยเหรอผมคิดว่าในระดับโลกก็คงไม่ได้ยากเกินไปที่เราจะคว้าแชมป์มาได้ตอนนี้ไม่ได้คิดเรื่องเงินครับตอนนี้คิดแค่ว่าจะเอาที่1อย่างเดียวชิคเก้นดิเดอร์ที่หนึ่งก็เราอยากฝากให้ทุกทีมนะครับคือระวังหลังพวกคนที่ดีครับไม่แน่เราจะไปยิงหลังพวกคนอื่นครับดิเดอร์ชิคเก้นดิเดอร์RQไฟติ้ง
Hello, my name is Galang Yudharitama. I'm from Wikitrans from Indonesia.
Hello, my name is Ingali Pabukabara. I'm 15 years old and I'm from Wikitrans from Indonesia. And my nickname is Tijarwak.
Hello, my name is Mariko Ternamita. I'm from Wikitrans from Indonesia.
I am a student. My Indian name is Vidyarjapsi. I'm an older, 8 minutes. And then my brother, my relationship is really good, and every day we fight for every single match we fight with my brother, and just talk too much. The biggest fight when he throwing me a bomb, so I died early, and then I punched him. He's very terrifying for me because he's angry every time.
Because I'm still playing PUBG practice.
You must strong to control your son, but your son is very good player for PUBG Mobile. My parent was very glad and just can't say anything. He was happy to be part of us. Your family is very strong because we have many everything and that good strategy. We lost the game or we got you need to evaluation to review the game before. You will play better and then I'll meet you up. Don't meet us in early. If you meet us in early, I will do it wrong.
So hello guys, my name is Puri and I'm the leader of the Terrifying Nightmares. I am from Mumbai and my gamer tag is Puri. Hi, my name is Amit Sharma. My gamer tag is Amit Sharma 9184. I am from India. Hi guys, my name is Mehul. My gamer tag is Torpedo. I am currently a university going student. Hello guys, my name is Anand Puri. Yeah, I am a member of the Terrifying Nightmares. Currently, I am a university student and my gamer tag is Anand. It gives me goosebumps to be in an international tournament with him, and it's really exciting for both of us to be in the PMSC Global Finals, and a really proud moment for both of us brothers to be here representing India. I want to thank PUBG Mobile for hosting such a big event at such a large scale. Me and my brother are very excited to face the other competitive teams. So according to me, it will be RRQ Athena. The main reason why we think RRQ can be a competition is because RRQ also lands at our landing spot, which is Portuguese. So we can have a fight at the very first minute. Just keep your guards up for the Terrifying Night. That we can participate and represent our country. Our parents were proud. They supported throughout the event. They were supporting in the Campus Championship, and they are now supporting us in the PMSC Challenge also, because they know that we are representing India and they are proud of us. So we won it in India and we hope we won it here. So let's go, brother. Let's win this.
됐죠?
こんにちは。私はチームジャパンの荒金陽太と申します。ゲーム ID は JPN レイシーで出場させていただきます。チームジャパンの松本博文です。ゲームネームは JPN 真夏でやらせていただきます。チームジャパンの半沢正光です。ゲーム ID は JPN ドギーでやっています。JPN ソルトゲームです。名前は大須賀和人です。で、家にギャラクシーの端末が一つあって、それなら PUBG モバイルができると思って始めました。PUBG モバイルは誰でもどこでもプレイできるのですごく魅力的だと思います。今回の大会に参加した理由は自分の実力を試したいからです。その大会で日本予選は行われていたので、一人一人の打ち合いが強いところが調子です。少し緊張はしていますが、負けるっていうことは考えられないです。上位に食い込める自信があるので、頑張って上位に食い込もうと思ってます。3位という結果で終わったのは悔しいですけど、世界大会に行けるっていうことがすごい嬉しくて、で予選は3位でも日本
代表として1位を取れれば自分は満足です。全て分割して1位になりたいと思います。
タイのアジアファイナルで実際に戦った RRQ だと思います。
最多キルになれるよう頑張っていきます。優勝できたら本当に嬉しいと思っています。
1日1ドンカツどうぞ。Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here, and hearing from all of these teams once again, brotherly love. That's what I extracted from that, my friends. So many brothers on these teams pairing together and bringing that kind of ferocity here to the table. It's really cool to see, actually. It really kind of brings, it puts that bond in place where you always know what your brother's going to do.
Absolutely.
So
there's chemistry there that's just natural, that's built in, that you don't have to learn. And it almost makes you want to root for these guys to do well so they can take that home to their family.
Definitely. Usually between that, there is brotherly rivalry, so more than likely they are going to go ahead and try to do better than one another.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So whilst we're just waiting here for our next game, it's important to note that our teams have a little bit of an opportunity to talk strategy, have a bit of a kind of timeout, as it were, to be able to figure out exactly what they're going to be wanting to bring into the next game. Gentlemen, you were already talking to me about how the two DOYU teams actually very much impressed you in the last game. Evo's obviously took that first place, but which other teams from our first game, or even the games that we've had so far, have really kind of shone through for you, and you expect to be able to do well throughout the tournament?
Got to be Team BRK from South America, getting that wipe on Cloud9 and persevering on into the game. Baraka there putting together a ton of kills all by himself and really set the tone for BRK as they were able to finish very well in that first round.
Yeah, and as we're seeing them Team Hyro, actually, I'm looking forward to see what they're able to do. They seem to jump out a little bit too late there, and they got blown up. And another team is the Terror team from India.
Yeah.
They have flashes there of greatness, but they weren't able to get the placing there. They were pretty much, they got knocked out too early. So I want to go ahead and see how they come out here in game number 2, the Indian team, Team Terror.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing that you mentioned actually with BRK that kind of sparked my interest was at the very beginning of our game, they actually dropped, you say Watertown, I say Atlantis. Everyone has a different name for it. I'm going to go with Atlantis just to annoy you. But overall, it's not the most common of loot spawns.
No, it's not.
To actually try and kind of prolong the game.
No, it was a very uncommon drop spot, but you saw there was kind of a pseudo hot drop there, if you will. A couple of teams were dropping right next to each other in a very obscure location. I believe that was Team Terror. They peeled off and decided to go elsewhere, leaving Watertown to be looted up by BRK. So they got the loot that they needed. Ultimately, it allowed them to win a couple of fights, put them in a pretty good position here heading out of round 1.
Yeah, and they actually got caught coming out of that area there. They were pretty much hiding in a little shack as cars were passing by them. So very, very risky drop there by them.
Can you be the tiebreaker, 7? Can you tell me, what do you like, Watertown? Or what's your choice?
Venice.
Venice? Oh no!
Oh boy, we're never coming to resolution on this one.
Well played, well played. I'm not going to take that away from you. But overall, going into our next round, what do you think some of these teams have to take away from them? Obviously, I think that the plane was pretty good for the most part. It didn't limit too many locations. What do you think?
It didn't really shine the light on any location in particular as though it's going to be, this is going to be a hot drop. But there was a lot of stuff that was in range. You saw it kind of splitting the difference between Pachinki, military bases, and Ipoliana. Flying right on through the middle there on the diagonal. So a really solid plane path for the most part. Maybe we'll see another one this game.
Yeah, and pretty much the ending zone there just pushing all the way up to George Bull, even though people were landing at the beginning of their military base. So great rotations by some teams. I'm looking forward to see if some teams are going to start landing more towards they're more comfortable. So BRK, are they going to go Pachinki? Maybe Cloud9, are they going to start going to Nobu? I'm looking forward to see if they're going to start doing that or if they're just going to keep on mixing it up.
That zone, though, that is my least favorite zone in all of Erangel that we saw at the end of that game, just out in the middle of nowhere, absolutely no cover. And if somebody's in that sniper tower and in that building, as GT DOYU was, they're in a supreme position. But it's even that's not safe because it's just like throw nades at me, you know. So
I mean, it wasn't only the circle over water; it was also over a bridge as well for a little bit of time. Which water and bridge creates multi-leveled weird fights going on in such an odd area.
That's just mean.
And as we saw there, pretty much they were taking advantage of it. They were just crouching under the bridge, being a munchkin pretty much, and just shooting people out of the water as they were starting to coming up.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it was really really interesting to see. Another kind of note that I have from Game 1 was Team Japan getting caught in vehicles multiple times out in fields, just trying to drive peacefully, I might add, from one location to the next, and they got shot at by Cloud9. They got blown up there at the end. You know, everything seemed like it was pretty chaotic enough, and then Team Japan comes driving through and then just ultimately got destroyed.
Yeah, risky plays. I think it was the terror team also did that as well.
Same thing, but they were able to sneak across the bridge.
They were, and then Hyro was trying to do that too. So a lot of teams just taking riskier plays. Are they going to learn from that, or are they just going to go ahead? You know what? Maybe that was just bad luck there on that one. Let's just go ahead and continue.
I think luck had a lot to do with it. That zone really kind of forced it. You saw how many people were left alive. That was one thing. You got to give credit to all these teams. Just staying alive with no real cover and in a tiny circle like that. Sometimes you don't have a lot of choice besides, well, let's just hit it and hope for the best. And unfortunately, for a couple of teams, it didn't work out.
Evo's in that position that they were in at the very end. Actually, we're quite fortunate that we saw Doyu show themselves in the tower as well, because coming off of that ridge next to where the river is can be very difficult against that tower in itself, right?
It can. It's got some great cover there. You can kind of move horizontally back and forth. But the tower being the prime position, but the tower also, you know exactly where they're going to be. So you know where to put your crosshair, and as soon as they peek, that's the end of it.
Yeah, and if you get caught in the water, it's pretty much over for you. As we saw pretty much where C got there, an outsider trying to get away, but ultimately they just got killed.
And obviously we saw whilst these teams were thinking about their strategies, they were able to kind of plan out some of their rotations, even with the little stylus of the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, to try and figure out exactly where they want to go. Obviously, they don't know exactly where the playing path is going to be just yet for this game, but overall, you can get a good grasp, especially if you want to drop towards the center of the map, to know where you want to go eventually. People have their usual path.
Certainly. I want to see, as Seven mentioned, if the teams start to gravitate towards their natural landing spots. I feel like strategy played a big part in this first game. Teams didn't want to reveal what they're normally comfortable with. They all said that they did some studying, and they altered kind of where they started out.
Well, gentlemen, we are ready. It's going to be game number 2 here of our tournament as a whole to figure out who's going to be able to rack up the points and who is going to be able to catch up with Evos and Doyu to get things going. 7, PB, take it away.
Let's do this, baby. Game number 2. Who's going to go ahead and win it? Let us know. You currently watching at home, whether you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube, comment below right now who you got. And oh my God, that plane, I cannot get over that plane. It's just so awesome.
Don't look up. You'll get it cut by a propeller. That thing is unbelievably cool. Flying through the arena here, dropping in the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, displaying round 2 of the PUBG Mobile Star Challenge Global Finals.
Let's see what this plane pass is going to be, because we saw it earlier. It definitely determines a lot of stuff.
Hey, that's what we're missing. Same path, but flipped a little bit. We're going to go diagonally through the map again from the north this time, flying on down south through the military base, which does put Nova Nordoye in range, but pretty much everything in range here on this plane path. This is a great path.
And something I noticed right away, Gangstars drops, and they're going to their natural habitat, George Bull.
Yeah, you kind of saw this one coming. They're going to head to North George and start looting up per usual. Let's see if a lot of these teams kind of get back to their roots here. And, you know, we saw some of the teams that prefer Pochinki did not drop their last game, even though the plane path did allow it. We'll see if they do that again this game.
A lot of teams just trying to spread out. Actually, I'm loving this plane path here, because it's going to allow teams to just pretty much go to where they usually want to go, right? They don't have to just jump into a car and try to go that way. And look at this, BRK, once again, dropping Atlantis, Watertown, Venice, whatever you want to call it, they're going there once again. It seems to work out there in the first match, so why not? Let's go ahead and do it again.
They're going to drop into a place with buildings and water. We'll call it that, buildings and water. Looting up, though, but they have company. Did you see that? They got another squad there looting up just on the outside, and it is Terror once again from India. These are the same guys last time that peeled off. Maybe this time, you know, maybe they won't.
And look at Terror here, already with the NAM4. They got some guns. I saw somebody there from BRK pretty much just trying to run away because he didn't have a gun just yet. And once again, just to remind you, the top 10 scores, GT Doyu with 605 points, Evo's Burnout with 590, and LH Doyu
Look at that, LHW in its third place right now, and they did not finish anywhere near the top three. Remember, Gangstars put them out much earlier. I believe they finished 7th or 8th overall in the standings. But with the 16, or was it 18? It was either 16 or 18 kills. Man, they rocketed up those
An interesting place here by the Terror team from India, as they are now starting to run away there from BRK. Now, the only problem with this is that they're going to be super exposed. If for some reason any team passes by, they're going to be easy pickings.
I'm interested to see how these guys continue to play. It's kind of an interesting tactic, you know, establishing yourself in an obscure location and then immediately giving up ground, even though you have the assault rifles and weapons already on your person. Not quite sure of that decision. They've been very passive so far in this, tournament. We got Cloud9 and Eagles again squaring off in TS9.
Again, I wonder if they're going to go ahead and knock each other down one more time and realize, hey, you know what? We're going to keep on dropping here. What are we going to do here? Are we going to try to take each other off at the beginning of the match, or we're just going to pretty much keep doing the same thing? Knock one down and then back up and just run away.
One thing I see developing with Evos and Cloud9, they're Cloud9 very separate from each other. These guys are all looting up solos, so if Evos does catch one of them, it's going to be curtains for him, unless they can pull off some sort of miracle rotation to pick up their teammates.
And LHW actually having Novo all to themselves. My gosh, that's going to be a huge advantage there, because we saw them play really good in the last round, and if they're able to go ahead and get that loot, on top of that, just being able not to have to worry finding anybody on Novo, that's crazy.
They've gone there twice now, kind of staking their claim. Novo is ours, and with those gun skills and with that performance in the first round, let's see if Cloud9 actually challenges that a little bit later on. I have a feeling they may steer clear and continue to loot up Yaz, as it's got a little bit more escape route, a little bit more versatility. And as you can see, the zone this game, very central, very friendly to pretty much everyone, everywhere on the map.
Yeah, and actually Team Japan very spread out. They're not even close to each other. I think they were maybe trying to get some cars and loot up, but interesting plays there by them, as they do have GTW fairly close in school. One of the people's favorite drops sometimes.
We've got a split drop right now, looks like, from GTW. They're heading school, Roz. I mean, they're trying to group up, but it looks like Team Japan over at the apartments right now staking their claim. Six God's going to have to get out of Dodge and head over to meet up with his team as he sees the folks over at the apartments.
And just to remind you at home, this is day 1, round number 2. We will be doing this tomorrow and the day after tomorrow until December 1st. So make sure you go ahead and tune in at the exact same time. In BTR taking I wasn't able to see the name there, but just pretty much looting up as much as it can with the DP28 as well. Level 1 helmet, that's something that we're kind of been seeing in play here. If you have a level 1 helmet, you might not want to go ahead and take a fight, because everybody is just so accurate.
What if you have a level 1 helmet with spikes on it like that guy?
I might take it. I'm sold.
Yeah, maybe, Kato has here the level 1 helmet with spikes on it as well. Looking pretty solid here, but again, sweet backpack, really cool gear, man. All these guys are looking fly. Carnage has got that sweet white backpack on, and these guys are, look at him, he's just scouting. He's just looking around. He's trying to find those Evos guys.
It is. They're using that third-person perspective to their advantage. Once again, day number 1 is third person, day number 2 is first person, and day number 3 is going to be third person once again. So you're going to be seeing a lot of people. If it's third person, you're going to be seeing a lot of people just put up their faces straight to the wall, just so they can go ahead and look around the corner.
What's that guy doing there, just staring at the wall?
And also, you're going to see a lot of snakes, it seems, in third person. If for some reason you don't know what snakes are, is when people just lay down on the ground. So do me a favor, if you're watching at home, spam some snakes in the chat, please, as Evos is still just looting up all these apartments. And my goodness, they already have an M4, they already got pens, they already got the whole 9, it seems.
Yeah, they're looking pretty solid right now, Evos. Again, really, really solid crew, and they are, man, really great stuff. I mean, finishing first overall in the first game. CBT, interesting stuff here. Driving around outside of Pachinki, grabbing a spot on the hill here.
Trying to find the ocean to go surfing.
Buildings. Interesting.
Yeah, definitely trying to find the ocean to go surfing there. And he doesn't currently, there you go, he does have one gun behind him, but he's trying to find more stuff. And that man has a level 2. Oh my gosh, look at this right here. That zone, actually not bad at all.
It's smack dab in the center. Even the teams that are out of it right now, Hero down in Primorsk. We got, looks like the Arabs up in the top left. They're, all good to go.
And LHW really making it quick. They're currently just barely outside the zone, but their loot is going to be just off the chain. And look at them. They're just pretty much switching ammo or whatever it is back and forth, whatever you're more comfortable with, right? That's what it comes down to with these teams. If maybe a player doesn't like using the 4-time and one of their teammates does, then they're just going to go ahead and exchange that so they will be more comfortable and just feel that's something that actually comes that I notice a lot of players prefer to do. Pick up something that you are comfortable with, even if it's not as powerful.
Correct. I think that that's something that, I get asked a lot of times, why do you prefer this weapon over that weapon? And it's just like, well, I do better with it. It's a very simple answer. It doesn't necessarily mean that statistically it's better or it puts out more damage per bullet, but, a lot of times if you're good with a weapon, you stick with it.
Yep. Ooh, and look at this drop right here for Wildcard. Wildcard just on crates. That man, C got already with the ghillie suit. That's going to come in huge, especially towards the end of the match if it's for some reason out in the open. And here we got, they're actually getting shot at.
Big Russian bot getting shot at here.
They're getting shot at and they're just waving around trying to juke them. They were able to actually get not damage. They're going to be able to just loot up here and stand their ground.
They're going to hole up here, it looks like, closing the doors, kind of getting ready to fight potentially. They don't know if they're going to get chased out from Pachinki. I believe it was one of the Chinese teams, CPT, up on the hill that was firing shots at them as they drove by. Big Russian bot, there you see CPT on the hill. But we've got Big Russian bot, second place finishers in Europe. And they've got a lot to prove here this particular match.
Yeah, something that I would like to go ahead and point out is that there's not that much action here at the beginning. Before, in the previous game, there was already some teams already out. Right now, everybody seems to be playing it safe now that game number 1 has passed. And look at this, the Terror team from India being able to go ahead and just work their way all the way a little bit towards, I believe that's a little bit towards Pachinki. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the east side of Pachinki here, and it's looking pretty, or excuse me, west side.
That's a nifty spot there on top of the couch through that little window with the DP. I noticed a lot of the teams from India like using that DP.
Yeah, I think Asia in general really has a strong preference for the DP. You see some of the Chinese teams typically are preferring the M4 and like a 6x scope, just absolute laser beams for aim. And then we've got RRQ here kind of pushing in towards Terra. I wonder if they know that they're there, if they know what they're getting into here. You see 2 members of RRQ split off to the side, and Sakria's just waiting.
Yeah, RRQ definitely playing it safe there. They might have been able to hear him, or they might have been able to hear something because RRQ D2E is just waiting patiently. Oh yeah, they know. Senior is calling them out with that mini 14, baby. He's just waiting for somebody to go in and peek, and all of them are in the exact same building. They could actually, oh my gosh, look at this right here. GT getting some shots there on BTR. There you go. First blood of game number 2.
Great position there. BTR unfortunately going to have to leave Zuxi behind as Zuxi goes down. Man, one of the brothers eliminated here early.
In GT though, you just pretty much finishing up that man. They already got a lot of kills in the previous match. More than likely, they want to go ahead and continue that trend through every single match with already 1 kill and looting him up. Once again, the Scar.
RRQ, Athena, and Terror have kicked off as well. Terror, one of their members did get knocked. A nod goes down, and look at that grenade torpedo taking him down all the way in the warehouse. What a shot.
You say, hold up a bit. Kai Seho, I see that you're there. Back up.
This is an opportune time for another grenade. You know where they're knocked. You know he hasn't crossed. The smoke's out. This is where you start lobbing in more grenades if you got them. You might be able to catch a second player down, and at that point, you have an opportunity to push.
And something that I think RRQ is going to go ahead and do here is more than likely they might not even engage here.
There it is. A little bit too late, though.
It might hurt the confidence there. Usually that's what happens. When you see a team starting to rush and somebody gets knocked, they think about it twice. They say, I don't know. Maybe not right now.
If he had followed up with that grenade just a little bit sooner, that would have been real trouble there for RRQ.
They do have the car in the back, so they could pretty much move out at any moment here. And they do have the bombing zone very close by. It seems like they're still going to go ahead and engage. They are throwing smokes all over the place just to throw Team Terror from India a little bit off.
They drive the vehicle inside, trying to keep people out of harm's way from the red zone. Kind of a standoff here, and there it is. Look at that VSS. Woo! Getting the knock there on D2E. D2E goes down on Meat is... Well, he's got 1 HP.
Yeah, he needs to go ahead and bandage up. He probably noticed that one of his shoulders was sticking out, so he's like, you know what, let me go ahead and just move a little bit there to the left.
That VSS from mid-range is just absolutely lethal as well. You're dead before you know that you're getting shot.
Yeah, VSS actually, we saw it a lot there towards the end with Gainstar's Bilbo, which is currently not here, but he was one of the players that was using it a lot, and then Angry from Gainstar started using it as well, the VSS in the NA Finals. more than likely we'll go ahead and continue seeing it here as first time we actually see it on this tournament so far. Keep in mind, it is game number 2 in day 1.
Terrifying weapon indeed. We turn our attention to other parts of the map for a brief moment before we come back here to RRQ Athena in the warehouse.
Ooh, somebody got knocked out there through an explosion.
That's one of the CPT guys getting hit through maybe the red zone.
Yep, and Wildcard. Wildcard now in that car trying to get out of here.
South George Crates is their preferred drop spot, so they did go after it. They did loot it up successfully, and as you can see, rocking level 3 vest coming out of the South George Crates. Looking like a successful looting run.
And that zone still pretty much staying there towards the middle. So whoever landed Pachinki, Team Terror is currently on a great spot. They don't really have to push anything unless RRQ decides to go ahead and push them. That's the only time they're going to go ahead and see engagement. And talking about it, Amit once again knocks down somebody with that VSS.
Great shots from Amit over from Team Terror. Nice job to him. We've also got Team Big Russian Bot and BTR getting ready to square off here. Again, Luxy and company down to Zuxy. They have missing one of their players. He got knocked out of the buggy on the top of that mountain by GT Doyi. And here we go. We're going to